Hey guys, welcome to the Calibrate Tools DIY channel. Today we're going to talk about how to use a drill-powered auger or drain snake. Stick around. See you right after this. Okay, so in a previous video we talked about drain snakes, and we specifically discussed this particular drain snake here. Now this one allows a drill to be attached to it at this point right here. This is a 6-sided shaft that allows the chuck of your drill to attach to in order to operate the drain snake. But today we're going to talk about a different type of drain snake in which the power source, the motor, the drill is permanently attached to the snake. It's all one system. This does not come off. The drive shaft in the drill connects to the cable system. It has a transmission gearbox which reduces the speed and increases the torque when necessary. It has a drive chuck or a coupling which grips and rotates the cable, and it also has a clutch mechanism that'll prevent any damage just in case the cable binds. You got the main handle, you got the trigger right here. Excuse the tape all over the drum here, but this is the drum which houses the cable. This is about 35 feet of cable all coiled up in here. The snake cable itself is coiled. That gives it the flexibility and strength that it needs as it's doing the work, going through all those pipes and whatnot. But the coiled cable itself is only the visible part. There's an inner core cable. That cable core or inner core cable also gives it the flexibility and strength that it needs as it's going through those winding pipes to clear out whatever debris or clogs there are. On some snakes, there's even depth markings on the cable to know how deep you are or how far you've gone in a drain line. The tip of it is called the working head. This is actually what does the work. It's usually bent around. There are different types of heads. There are also different types of heads or tips that you can attach to the tip of your cable depending on what the job requires. Some more advanced drain snakes have brake systems to control the speed. Some have cable feed control systems to control the cable release from the drum. Some even have tensioning systems to keep the proper tension during use. Because if the cable starts flapping around on you outside of the drain, that can actually tangle things up. So proper tension has to be kept on the cable line as you work. Some snakes even have legs on the drum base to keep it stable as you work. This is the eyelet. This is where the cable extends out of the drum. Some have wheels to help you move around. That's for larger drain snake units. This is a corded one, but they also have cordless ones with battery packs. Some cordless units even have onboard chargers with the lights that tell you how much power is left in the unit or the battery. Now this part right here is one of the most important parts of a drill-powered drain snake, or what may also be called an auger. This is called the cable guard. When you're snaking, you want to hold on to this, like this. And by holding on to this, it allows you to steer the snake more accurately. It also gives you the stability that you need when working a snake. It stays still while the drum rotates. You just saw how that cable whipped around like that, right? If you don't have proper control of your snake, you can injure yourself or other people. By holding onto the cable guard, it helps you to control the cable action. It gives you leverage as you maneuver the different angles that you would have to when you're snaking a drain line. You want to hold it and guide it toward the drain opening. It's almost like a steering wheel for your drain snake. Usually when your hand is not on the cable guard, it's because you're feeding the cable into the drain. So the first thing you want to do is feed the cable in manually into the drain until it hits whatever blockage there is in the drain. Then you want to get in a comfortable position. Whether it's standing or sitting, you can rest the cable guard on your knee. That's a good position to be in and start feeding the cable into the drain as you power it with the motor. You want to push the snake towards the drain as you go. Just keeping the auger in one place may only be spinning the cable but not actually moving forward. So pushing the snake towards the drain keeps it moving towards the blockage. It also keeps the snake from dancing around in one spot without making any progress. Sometimes you need to pull back the drain snake and extend the cable more and start again. And you want to repeat this process throughout. If you feel that the cable is hitting a blockage, switch the direction of the spin on the drill to go in the opposite direction. That can help break up whatever stoppage there is in the drain line. And if you're wondering whether you should run water while you're snaking the drain, generally no. Number one, running water can wash away any debris before the snake can grab it. It also makes it harder to feel when you've broken through the clog if you run water. The snake head works better on dry debris, and it also creates a mess. Water may back up and overflow if the drain is still blocked. Not to mention the electrical hazard if you're running a corded drain snake like this one, especially if the cord is frayed already. Now, the best time to use water is before you even snake. You want to run a small amount to see how well the drain is flowing. This helps you to determine the severity of the blockage. It also helps you identify where the backup is happening. You also want to run water after clearing the blockage like we did right here when you saw all that black liquid come out. You want to run a water test to see if the drain is flowing properly, and this helps to flush away any loose debris. It also shows that the drain is completely cleared. So you want to start with a gentle flow and then increase the pressure gradually. Now, a common misconception is to think that the drain snake will feed the snake into the drain by itself just because the motor's on. That's not the case. The drain snake won't feed the snake into the drain while the motor's on. You still have to manually feed it or push the tool forward towards the drain. The motor only rotates the cable. It doesn't automatically feed it forward. You still need to manually control the advancement. The motor just provides the twisting motion that breaks up the clogs. And you want to do it manually for several reasons. Safety is one of them. An automatic feed could jam the cable or damage the pipes. You want to be able to feel or sense resistance and adjust accordingly. You can also control how the cable negotiates the pipes with all the 90-degree or 45-degree bends or obstacles that it may have. Also, different clogs and situations in the pipes need different feed rates. You want to apply steady pressure. You don't want to force it. Now, at some point, the cable may actually come out or pop out of the auger. Don't panic. That just means you reach the extent of your cable. In this case, it was 35 feet, which is actually a good sign. That means whatever blockages were in there are most likely gone because the cable has traveled, in this case, 35 feet all the way into the main drain line. But all you have to do is take the end of the cable, put it back in the eyelet, feed it back into the auger, and it'll eventually catch onto the motor assembly coupling. And you just continue manually feeding it back in. Once again, don't put it in reverse thinking that it's going to feed itself back in. Remember, it doesn't even feed itself out. The motor only rotates the cable. You have to manually feed it back into the drum as well. All right, guys, as you can see, you don't have to be a plumber to know how to use one of these things. They are super handy when it comes to unclogging those drains. You can always rent one from your local hardware store. You don't have to buy one either, unless you're into tools like me. You got something out of it? Hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.